Well, the world's highest paid athlete Floyd Mayweather will be back in the ring tomorrow on Main Event Television when he faces Argentine puncher Marcos Maidana. And to preview the fight and talk about some big bouts on the horizon in Australian boxing, I'm joined at the desk now by Paul Upham. Paul, how are you, mate?
Great to be here, Ben.
Paul, let's have a look first of all at the overlay. This is the scene at the weigh-in for Mayweather up against Maidana. He is just massive, isn't he? That is bigger than, well, just about any boxing bout you'll see in Australia. It's for the weigh-in.
Well, pound for pound, best boxer in the world today, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is no doubt about it, and you can see his condition. He has not taken any shortcuts in training, and that's one of his great things, that he has just maintained that dedication to the gym.
Yeah. He certainly has. Now, he is up against Marcos Maidana, an Argentine puncher. Do you give him any chance in this fight?
You've got to give him a chance, Ben. Look, he earned this fight. He beat the dangerous Adrian Broner, who we saw was sort of the protege of Floyd Mayweather, very flashy, could fight, and Maidana won the WBA welterweight world title, so he's certainly earned this fight. He's won 4 in a row. He's very aggressive, throws lots of punches. It's going to make for an exciting fight because Floyd Mayweather said he may have to pull all of the skills out of the kit bag to avoid these attacks because Maidana does not let up for 12 rounds.
This is what we're seeing. This is Marcos Maidana up against Adrian Broner, who, as you said, is the protege, is a prototype of Floyd Mayweather. Maidana beat him. He bashed him up, and he was certainly a massive underdog there. He's a bigger underdog, admittedly, against Mayweather, but that has to give him plenty of confidence at least.
Look, it certainly does. Look, he brings a lot of ammunition and a lot of artillery, but the whole thing is Floyd Mayweather is the best fighter in the world pound for pound for a reason. He's 45-0, never been beaten. No one's really ever pushed him, but at 37 years of age, Ben, when is the clock ticking so far that he just starts to slow down and slip a little bit? And that's what makes it interesting, because as a boxer, you've got to be best, number one at all times. You can't afford a loss.
Yeah, and he's getting a big earn for this one as well. $32 million for Floyd Mayweather. I know you want to talk a few of the figures. He's the highest paid athlete on the planet.
Look, people have said over the last maybe 5 years that boxing is not relevant anymore. Well, he is still the highest paid athlete in the world. When you look at the other sports stars, Cristiano Ronaldo from football and Lionel Messi and Aaron Rodgers from the NFL and Abramovich from football, they're making huge money. But Mayweather in 2 fights last year, 73.5 million US. That is a credit not only to what Mayweather brings to the sport of boxing, but as a personality, as a must-see. And as we talked about off air, some people just find him. I respect his skills. Yeah. I respect his ability skills.
What about the way he carries on?
Look, clearly the money persona is a certain vibe to upset people, but people buy because they want to see him lose. Yeah. And you've got to respect his business acumen, what he's done there, because he's pocketing a lot of money by doing that and being the bad guy.
An incredible amount of money. He is the best defensive boxer on the planet. He's almost impossible to hit. We saw that in his most recent fight against Canelo Alvarez, where everyone, I think, thought that he was going to be put to the test. He certainly wasn't. Probably we don't give him a great deal of chance in this fight, do we? Do you give Maidana any chance?
On paper, if Mayweather is his best, he'll show us all his skills. I'd say he wins on points. But at some stage, I said, 37. What stage is he going to? So many things swirling around in his world. We've been watching the All Access series. Part 3 will be on tonight, 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 3. And you get that behind-the-scenes look at his life. And there's so many things going on. At some point, it's going to catch up with him. But I don't know if it's going to be this fight. I think maybe a little bit further down the track.
Yeah, if you want to not like Floyd Mayweather, watch episode 3 as well, because he has been talking himself right out of your hearts, hasn't he? And tomorrow morning, it'll kick off 11 a.m. is the undercard, a great undercard as well. We've got Adrian Broner is fighting on that. We saw some highlights of him. Also, the Englishman Amir Khan. So that is a big day of boxing tomorrow on Main Event Television. But very exciting news for viewers here on Fox Sports, because Daniel Geale will be having his next fight over in the United States. It's up against an Irishman, Matthew Macklin. That'll be here on Fox Sports, not on Main Event.
Yeah, Aussie fighting Irishman in America on HBO, and it's a great fight for Daniel to get back up there. He wants to get that world title fight. He wants to get a shot. He doesn't care who he fights. Yeah. He just wants to get that world title fight so he can show that he's still one of the leading middleweights in the world. And it's a great opportunity for the fans to see on Fox Sports live from America. So that's a great opportunity for boxing fans to get out there. Daniel Geale, who probably hasn't got the press he's probably deserved over the years.
He's too nice a guy, Daniel Geale, so he doesn't quite get the press, but he is an extremely good boxer. He goes over there again. Last time, well, he was robbed when he went to America against Darren Barker. That's my opinion. But he goes back this time. And this fight against Macklin, well, it's a stepping stone fight, isn't it? If he wins this, do you see him fighting a Golovkin or someone like that next?
We'd love to see him, Gennady Golovkin, the undefeated WBA world title champion. And You know, Gill fighting on American television, this is what he wants. He can't stay in Australia. He won against Garth Wood, appreciate that, but you've got to go and fight the big boys in America on HBO or Showtime, and he's doing that, and he's got to win. If he gets the win, he'll parlay that into a world title fight.
Yeah, he does want to get over there pretty quickly again as well, and hopefully get that fight with Gennady Golovkin. Another Australian who is heading overseas very shortly, Sam Solomon. He fights against Felix Sturm again in Germany. He's trying to get that world title. He's been chasing it for so long, Sam. You think you beat Sturm again?
Look, hard to go back to Germany and win in Germany again. And
hard to win the first time.
One of the interesting things, if he does win and gets that world title, don't be surprised if we see Anthony Mundine putting his hand up for a fourth match with Sam Solomon, because you know what? Sam Solomon will feel he can beat Anthony Mundine now, and Mundine is probably the quickest way back to a world title fight at middleweight. So a lot of implications for Sturm-Solomon rematch, May 31 in Germany.
Daniel Geale will be looking to fight Sam Solomon as well. I'd say that there's every chance, if Sam can get past Felix Sturm, which I believe that he can for a second time, then you'll see an all-Australian world title fight.
We'd love to see that. Give the guys an opportunity. We have that fight here in Australia.
Fantastic. And also Sakio Bika, the Australian, the only world champion that we've got at the moment, Sakio Bika. He doesn't get any press at all. No one knows who he is, but he is ringside for this fight tomorrow. He's got some big fights coming up. We don't know who yet, but it'll be great to see Sakio back in the ring and getting a big payday for once.
Best thing about Sakio's career is he's being managed by Al Heyman, who looks after Floyd Mayweather. Al Heyman will get Sakio a big fight, and he deserves it.
He will, and he is sitting next to Al Heyman at the fight tomorrow, so he'll be putting in a good word. Hopefully he gets a very big payday and a very big fight. We hope so. Thanks, Paul. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. Floyd wins?
Floyd wins on points, I think.
Okay, thanks a lot.